We've been taught that disease is either bad luck, bad genes, or poor lifestyle choices. But what if I told you that stress related issues, burnout, even chronic diseases and autoimmune diseases don't just happen to us individually, but are part of a bigger systemic issue? Addictions and depression are at an all time high. More people are quitting their jobs than any other time before. There's more work related stress than we've experienced. And all of that is happening at a time where we have more technology, better healthcare, and more wellness tools at our disposal than any other generation before us. So, what is really happening? My name is Dr. Omar Shaker, and in this video, we're going to explore the 3 root causes of disease in modern society. Welcome to the Human Recovery Lab, where science-backed ideas meet real human stories about how life's hardest moments can become our healthiest comebacks. If I were to place my stethoscope on modern society, I would hear 3 abnormal rhythms that don't just pertain to our lives as individuals, but are woven into the fabric of society. And these 3 big issues are: number 1, denial of the truth; number 2, dysfunctional health habits; and the third one is the comparison trap. Now, let's break these down one by one. Denial is not just a personal coping mechanism. It is what propagates modern sickness. We deny how stress wreaks havoc on our bodies. We deny how toxic work environments make us sick. And we deny how success, as we've been taught to pursue it, costs us our health and our relationships. Society denies reality by keeping us chasing wealth and productivity to avoid facing our mortality, makes us tolerate toxic environments and unhealthy work cultures, and we ignore our bodies, pushing through exhaustion, hunger, and pain. The more disconnected we become from the truth, the more vulnerable we are to disease. And so we need to stop thinking of how can I do more and start asking, why am I even doing this? So here are some personal reflections. Have you ever ignored your exhaustion until it became a health issue? Have you ever convinced yourself that you're fine when you're clearly not? Have you ever prioritized work over your well-being even when you knew it was hurting you? The truth is, ignoring your reality does not protect you. It keeps you stuck in a dysfunctional rhythm, and that is the second problem. The second root cause of our modern ailments are dysfunctional health habits. The modern world that we live in has completely distorted the way that we eat, move, sleep. What used to be a normal facet of life and a natural way of just being human has become something that we need to schedule ahead of time and to hack our way back into it. If you think about it, modern society has challenged all 6 pillars of health. First of all, we're more stressed than any other time before, with anxiety and overstimulation due to a 24/7 bombardment with news and digital overload keeps our nervous system in a constant state of stress, which then takes away from our sleep. So both the high stress and artificial lighting / screen exposure makes us sleep deprived, walking around sometimes in a zombie state, which then increases our anxiety further. Our movement, our natural sources of movement have been taken over by screen-based jobs, leaving us physically stagnant. There's more ultra-processed foods and addictive foods that make us sicker. And then there are way more opportunities for dopamine addiction using social media, sugar, alcohol, or anything else that really fuels these cycles of exhaustion. And all of these make connection to others really hard and really challenging. And so isolation and loneliness are also at an all-time high. And we're constantly told that if we just work harder or optimize our habits or biohack our life, we would start feeling better. But the truth is, it's not about doing more. The way for us to become healthy is to recover and undo a lot of these dysfunctional habits from our life. Now, that's easier said than done because of our economic realities and also because of the third problem that I want to discuss, which is social comparison and how it's easier for us to compare ourselves to perfect individuals that we then idolize more than any other time before. Because our human brains are wired for comparison, even when we know that social media is offering us a filtered view of reality, it still affects us. So here's what scientists have uncovered with social comparison theory so far. In upward comparison, where we compare ourselves to people that are more successful than us, this can inspire us to a certain degree. But for immigrants or for people that are high achievers that have this burden of proving themselves, this can make us feel like we are falling behind. Conversely, downward comparison, where we compare ourselves to others that are worse off than us, can temporarily make us feel good about ourselves, but ultimately drives fear into our motivational structure. There's also, interestingly enough, mass anxiety, which is rooted in this idea that there is an emotional contagion. So we can actually catch comparison or catch burnout or catch anxiety from someone else just by being around them. And there's a lot of interesting studies that show that burnout, specifically at work, can be acquired when others start talking about it a lot. So, especially for high achievers and first generation professionals and immigrants, comparison can become really toxic. And that is because we worked so hard to get here. So, trying to keep up with a never ending, bottomless well of expectations can really harm our nervous systems and bring about a lot of the diseases and ailments that we now see and cannot explain with modern medicine. So, here are some reflections. Have you ever scrolled social media and felt worse about your life? Have you ever felt like you should be further along even though you've accomplished so much? And have you ever let someone else's definition of success dictate your choices? If you have, then you're not alone. Again, we're all wired for comparison, but breaking free from this comparison trap requires each one of us to define success and health by our own standards, not in the way that society told us that these things should be. And so here are some ways to break free from these three major problems of denial, dysfunctional habits, and social comparison. The question now becomes, how do we overcome these patterns and how do we reclaim our health in this society that we live in? And so I leave you with three skills that I believe are critical to regain our health and recover from the illnesses of modern society. Skill number one is how to talk to yourself. Learn to challenge the thoughts and beliefs that keep you stuck. Skill number two is how to sustain habits, building routines that actually work for your body and your lifestyle. And the third skill is how to understand your health data, to stop guessing about your health and start measuring it with actual real data. When you master these three skills, you don't just get healthy, you reclaim control over your whole life. This isn't about personal optimization. This is about liberation. When we break these cycles, we change them for ourselves, we change them for society, and we change them for generations to come.
Be the first to know about new content, events, and our 3-month program by signing up at thehuman-.com/subscribe. And while you're there, you can take the Human Dash assessment. It's free, science-backed, and it shows you how stress and habits are shaping your health right now. And when you finish, you'll get an instant PDF report personalized with your readiness and self-compassion scores, outlining exactly where you stand and the first step you can take towards recovery.